So I have been a customer with Bluevine Bank, which is an online banking platform, for 2 years for my business, which is called Tiny Living LLC, and also a Peak Low Fee MLS, which is in Florida. And I recently, well, not recently, but in December, I've had to take a trip to Albania, which is where I'm at right now. And there was when I went to go book my tickets online, I called Swiss Air. There was a Google ad, and this is going to be good for other people to know this too. It says Swiss.com that comes up on Google. So I called thinking that it was Swiss Airlines, when in fact it is not Swiss Airlines. It's a totally different company. They try to make you believe that they're Swiss Airlines. So I went to go book a ticket with them, and I told them that I'm traveling with a pet, and they said, that's fine. It's $195 extra fee. Okay. So I said, that's fine. And this happened on December the 13th of last year, 2024. And they ended up charging my card for 5 tickets. So there was over $6,000 of charges from this company. And when I got to the airport, the ticket actually wasn't even any good. I couldn't get on the flight. And at the counter, the agent said, oh yeah, we have a lot of problems with this company because everybody thinks they're dealing with us directly. And they don't have a right to say you can travel with a pet, because we have to decide that by filling out some forms when you travel with your dog. So anyway, when I got to Albania, I called my bank immediately, Bluevine, and I disputed all of these charges. I didn't even know they charged my account. The Bluevine agent said, you have a lot of charges on here from this company. And as you can see in my complaint that I did with PissedConsumer, I put all the amounts, the dates, everything that my card was charged, and it's over $6,000. So Bluevine refunded some of the money, but then they denied the larger charges, one for $1,307 and another one for $1,647.50. And the main thing is, I've disputed it. I reopened the dispute again, and they won't tell me why. All they keep saying is they have my signature on a receipt, which I know is not true. But I have requested the investigation report from Bluevine 5 times. And all of this done through email, because you can't get a live agent in the dispute department at Bluevine. Everything has to go through email. So you are on the phone with a customer service agent first, waiting for them to answer the phone. And then you get somebody on the phone. You don't know what country they're in. Some of them barely speak any English. And they can't help you. Most of all, they're very rude, and they think they know the law. You know, one of them at one point said, well, they said you signed that it's non-refundable. The tickets were non-refundable, which made no sense. I said, how many tickets does one person need? Okay, why did you refund some of the tickets and then not the others? So a couple days ago, I got refunded from Bluevine $195, which was for the pet travel fee. And then they still didn't refund the $1,307 for the ticket. They denied it. So I have now since then requested the investigation report, because by law, they have to supply that to you. Okay. And every airline ticket is refundable. A lot of people don't know this, but every airline ticket is refundable as long as you cancel within 24 hours. If it goes beyond 24 hours, you have to go by the airline policy, whatever you agreed to. Some tickets may not be refundable. Basic economy, things like that are usually not refundable. Premium economy usually is refundable, and up to business class. As long as you select that category, it's a little bit more money. And I always do that. I always select refundable. But the fact that I couldn't travel and this company is a scam, and I've tried to call them, and I got a person on the phone, and I asked him about all the charges, and he said, we didn't charge you that on your account. And I had it recorded on my phone, and I sent to Bluevine, who I spoke to. And like I said, you can't get a live person on the phone. So I'm going to recommend for people in the future, do not bank with this company. All of the other reviews that I see are the same as what I'm going through. Lack of transparency, very poor customer service, not being able to get a live agent on the phone, which is just time consuming and frustrating. Spending hours on the phone when you're trying to run a small business and you have to take time to do that, and losing thousands of dollars because they're not doing their job and doing the investigation correctly and not supplying an investigation report from their investigation and their decision, because none of it makes any sense. Another problem with Bluevine is when you travel outside of the United States, you cannot bank with them. You cannot log into your account, even with a VPN, and you cannot use your debit card. Everything is blocked. So I did not know that. I have tried to use my debit card several times and it has been blocked. And when I call them on the phone, they say, no, it's not blocked. We don't even see where you're trying to make a purchase. So they lie. As soon as I get back to the States, I'll probably be closing my account and I'm going to have to file a lawsuit against them if they don't supply that investigation report to me of who they spoke to and why they only chose to refund a certain amount of money and the other day they decided to keep. I'm a single person. I don't need 6 airline tickets. Maybe a lot of people, this company thought they could get away with it. I don't know. I can only imagine how many other people they do this to. But people need to be aware of this company called Swiss.com. Make sure you go on Swiss Airlines, the official site for them, if you're ever booking a ticket with this Swiss airline company. But yeah, it's just been very frustrating. And as a small business owner, I can't afford to lose that money. It's not good. And their customer service is terrible. The last call I made was yesterday, speaking to a guy named Ugo, who was very rude. And then another guy named Sobi, who actually did agree with me in the end that it doesn't make any sense. And he's going to try to get in touch with the dispute department to find out what's going on and why they have not supplied me with the report that I requested. So anybody out there listening to this, do not bank with Bluevine. Another thing also, they are not this Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They will not have anything to do with them. So if you ever need to file a complaint against Bluevine with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they're not regulated with them. So I had to file my complaint with the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, which is now investigating them. And I've also filed the complaint with Better Business Bureau. I expect them not to lie to me and to provide me with the investigation report and the person that investigated it to give me the reason why they refunded some of these fraudulent charges and some of them they decided not to when it was from the same company, and get the money refunded into my account immediately so I can do business, because I'm not the only person that is going through this. I feel, a lot of people just end up giving up because it's so time consuming and they walk away because the business makes it difficult for somebody to go after them. And I think it needs to be transparent what they do to people and not to harm other people when they go to open up this bank account, because, they make it seem like they're such a great bank and the lending that they do and everything. But there's always, a catch. And the catch is that they are hiring people who do not have knowledge to handle these kind of calls or to handle disputes and things like that. I don't know who's in the dispute department. I have no idea where they're located. I also called to get an address for them because I'm going to send them a demand letter, a legal demand letter, to supply me with the investigation report. And he told me we don't have an address. Now, this is how uneducated they are. Every business has to have a registered address. They have to have an agent, an address that can legally take mail in case they're getting sued or for anything. If you're a corporation, an LLC, anything at all, and you're registered, you have to have a registered agent address. And he argued with me and says, we don't have one, so you can't send anything. And I said, you're ridiculous. I said, you need to check the law. And he hung up on me.